Hello, this is Jake Valerius on my alt trader Agillo, and I'm here to explain to you how to master the art of reverse engineering, or RE. Now, the first thing you need to do to get set up is just go ahead and grab yourself an MBuff. All you need to do is fill it with 150 luck. That's all you need out of it. Next, come back to your place of REing and go ahead and activate your pups with the reverse engineering chance down there. And then hit the food I would recommend with the most luck would be fizz pudding. Hit that. Now, you want to check your stats. Then you see reverse engineering chance for me is 146. It should never be lower than that. Anything lower than that tends not to give you a good power bit. Most people have above that. For me, it works out just fine. I don't have problems with it at all. Now, you go to your luck. Your luck should be over 800. Some people have it higher than that, but that's okay. As long as it's over 800, you should be just fine. Now, the first thing you should do is grab yourself some static clothing. As you see, I have a few right here for a demonstration. You open up your RE tool. Now, any stat clothing or jewelry works too. With a stat over 20, gives you a really good power bit. Sometimes it won't always, but most of the time it will. Now, you just drag, say, this piece of jewelry in your RE tool. Then you click on the reverse engineer. As you see, it came out to 26 first order. Now, let me explain to you the first, second, and third orders of the power bit. First order is always the first power bit you put on. It's always going to be the first stat of an attachment. Second order can be the first or second. And third order is always the last stat you put in. Now, I'll explain that later. Go into more detail. Now, next you need modifier bits. As you see up here, I have a few modifier bits. Now, when making, when reverse engineering power bits, doesn't matter what modifier bit you have as long as it's a base stat. If it's an exotic such as block value or rifle action cost, that stuff will just turn when you reverse engineer it. It'll just turn into a really low power, and you just wasted a power bit. So just use base stats for your REing. Now, to make a mod bit, you need two different pieces of junk loot. You know, the stuff usually you find out there in the world, you usually throw away. As you hear, I'm going to be using comm links and mag seal detectors. Each different piece of stat loot creates, or piece of junk loot creates a different mod bit. Some of them, there are multiple combinations that make the same one too. As you see, the link that just came up on your screen, that site is very good for giving you combination lists of all the different types of junk loot out there for you. So make sure you go there to get an idea of what makes what. Now you just drag two different types of junk loot into your RE tool. Then you simply just go to reverse engineer, and as you see, it makes the modifier bits. Don't really need too many, as I have plenty up here. Go ahead and put those away. Don't need those anymore. I would recommend you have your inventory empty, and you get as many modifier bits as you can, so you can RE for a continued amount of time. Now, you just simply take your power bit and then your modifier bit, and then you click create skill enhancing attachment. As you see, for me, a tailor, it comes out to what looks like a little tape. For armorsmiths or joint engineers, it'll come out to something that looks like this, except for joint engineers, it'll say weapon attachment instead of breastplate. Now, down here I have my crates of socketed clothing, and again, for armor smiths, it will be most likely most of them craft armor belts, and engineers usually craft daggers. That's what you'll mass produce those in a factory to have plenty of those, because you'll be going through a lot of these. It's easy if you just put them on your hotbar, and then when you need one, you just click it, and there you go, it appears right there in your inventory. Now you simply just drag the attachment onto your socketed item, then you take the socketed item and you put it in your RE tool, and then you simply click reverse engineer. Now it has not moved yet. Sometimes that happens. Simply do it over again. And there you go, it just jumped up to 27. Now you want to keep doing that until you reach 35. So it can be a long process depending on what number you start out on. I wouldn't recommend doing anything above below 24, as it just becomes more tedious, you waste more junk loot, and it's quicker if you have it higher. Like some certain stats, clothing or jewelry will give you a 30, which shouldn't take too long to do. Now, when you eventually get to 35, I have a demo right here, come out to finish 35. Now, to make that a stat, you simply drag it in here with the modifier bit that you'd like, so let's just say precision. And then you, again, do create skill enhancing attachment, and then it'll come out to a tape with 35 precision on it, or with whatever modifier bit you're wanting it to be. Now, to do multiple attachments, you simply use a first or second order as your first power bit. Now, like I said, first orders can only be the first attachment. Second orders can be either the first or the second. You can use those for number 1 and number 2. Third orders are always the last stat. So basically, you take the tape, and you put it in here, and then you would take, let's just say this is the 35. Not working. Then you would take, for this it'd be a second order, and then you could put a different type of modifier bit in, and then reverse it, and then you create another skill enhancing attachment, and then you do the same with the third order. You just put that last, and you put another modifier bit in, and then it'll create 3 attachments, 3 stats on the attachment. And that's all you really need to know about creating attachments and how to bump up the powers on the power bits. Now for power-ups, they're very simple. All you do is you take a 35 and a mod bit, and you simply click on your RE tool and click create power-up, and then it'll come out to something that looks like this. This is the one for clothing. They vary depending on your RE chance and your luck. This is what a weapon looks like. And that is what an armor looks like. They all apply to your chest plate, to your shirt, to your weapon. Those are a must-have. Definitely when you're REing, you need your pups. If you don't have your pups, you will not find REing very satisfying. You'll not get very good power-ups. You won't get very good power bits. So you need the pups. I hope this has been informative for you, and I wish you happy REing.